Hi YouTube, it's Mark here from Trusted Word Ministries. I hope and pray you're all good today. Just a very short video, quick update, a couple of things to talk about. I'm off to the Philippines this evening. Flight's at 8 PM, and so I'm all just getting ready for that at the moment. But you know, it's not really a ministry trip as such. I'm bringing some beautiful Bibles with me, bringing some tracts and some other materials with me as well. So you know, there is a reason to sort of you know, to take that stuff there, but I've got no specific preaching arrangements, nothing like that, unless obviously the Lord decides otherwise when I'm there. You know, hopefully that'd be great. You know, but at the moment there's nothing specifically lined up, and that's fine. That's fine. I'm also hoping to do a number of studies in person with my family there, because I do studies with my wife, but it's a little harder to do that with my two stepdaughters. They're working arrangements are a little bit tricky at the best of times. So I'm really looking forward to just, you know, for a few days having some really in-depth Bible studies with them, and so really hoping that, you know, that takes off, that happens. So, but outside of that, it's really just a vacation, you know, just to get away and, you know, to take it easy for a few days. And I've really been looking forward to it, you know, just to get away and just enjoy some time with my family. So in addition to that, obviously, you know, there's been a lot of problems with airplanes recently. I'm sure you've all seen the news of various problems in the last few years, and you know, I'm always acutely aware of that when I fly. And but you know, I don't fear death as a Christian. Of course, we don't fear death, of course. You know, but it's normal to, you know, not want to, you know, to be in that position. But so I don't have a fear of death like that. But I would just ask that you keep me in your prayers for the flights. So they'll be over the course of this weekend. So the flight's 8 PM tonight. There's quite a long stopover in Hong Kong, very long in fact. But I should be in the Philippines by Sunday lunchtime, their time, local time, you know, Manila. So please just keep me in your prayers, you know, during that time. It would be really, really welcome. I mean, you know, whenever I'm on a plane, you know, I'm praying as it's taxiing, I'm praying as it's taking off, I'm praying mid-flight, I'm praying as we're coming down to land, I'm praying as we land, praying all the time, and just praying that, you know, that the Lord, you know, conveys me to each place safely and soundly. And, you know, so far, you know, it's been good, it's been no problem. I mean, there's been a few rough landings that haven't been a lot of fun, to be honest with you, but, you know, so Lord willing, I get there okay. And just you know, again, just if you can keep me in your prayers, that would be really, really welcome. And interestingly, I mean, I'm wearing this at the moment, but interestingly, I just came from a funeral this morning. It was a family friend, a very long sort of time family friend of my dad's, and I knew this woman, and her name is Doreen. Actually, for the point of the video, I knew this woman, Doreen, kind of like a sort of, you know, when a family friend, it's almost like they're like an aunt in the way that they sort of deal. So she was kind of like that as a kid growing up, but didn't really see her much, you know, for the last couple of decades, I guess. But as a kid growing up, she was around, and she was a nice woman, a good person, as the world says. You know, she was a nice lady, and you know, I really liked her, and you know, and when she came around here, it was just a lot of fun and so on. You know, a nice lady. But you know, the problem again, the funeral was arranged in what they call a humanist fashion. In other words, a funeral without any faith, you know, coming into the equation at all, whether it's Christianity or some other, you know, faith. And so this was a humanist funeral. And the simple truth of it, unfortunately, is that Doreen wasn't a Christian. Unfortunately, as nice as she was, as wonderful as she died an unrepentant sinner. She wasn't a Christian. And unfortunately, you know, if you're a Christian watching this video, you know exactly where she's gone. And that's not something that I take pleasure in. It's not something that I enjoy. And the sad thing about a humanist funeral is that, you know, there's nothing there to convict people, you know, to think about their souls, to think about what happens after you die. There's nothing. You know, there's no comfort, you know, no hope, nothing that can be offered to somebody attending a humanist funeral. So all you end up doing really is, you know, celebrating their life or whatever. And it's just really quite sad, you know. It's really quite sort of tragic, you know. And you know, the people that were there, I mean, from what I could tell, they weren't saved people. You know, they were just doing the same thing. I think while we were waiting outside, you know, I think it was my dad actually, or some people there were saying, you know, they weren't. It's always that they're not religious. Have you noticed that? It's always, you know, I'm not religious. You know, that's not the question. You know, do you believe on the Lord Jesus Christ is the question. You know, but they say, no, I'm not religious. And they always say christenings, weddings and funerals. Well, I'm sorry, that doesn't get you into heaven. Sorry. You know, but I mean, I wasn't obviously, you know, strong with anybody. And I didn't, you know, didn't cause a problem because it's not the right place to do it, of course. But, you know, I spoke with a couple of people and it's funny, you know, it's just like when you're walking around, you know, people will say like, well, you know, nobody really knows what happens when you die. And I said, well, I do. Well, nobody can really. I do. You know, I was fairly blunt with one person. You know, I know. I don't. You know, I don't have to think about it and come up with ideas that make me feel good. I know what happens. You know, so you know, it was interesting in that respect, but just sad and tragic. You know, that this woman Doreen, a lovely woman. You know, that she'd lived her entire life. I think she was 60, 70, somewhere around there. You know, she'd lived her entire life and, you know, there's no way that she would not have known who the Lord Jesus Christ was. There's no way that she wouldn't know what heaven and hell was. You know, there's no way, you know. As Paul said to, was it King Agrippa or Festus? He said, you know, this thing wasn't done in a corner. You know, this information is freely available. It's out there. And everybody really knows. You know, they're just like Pontius Pilate. Just, you know, Jesus Christ comes to them and they just push him away. Push him away, he comes back. You push him away. It just happens all the time. It's just, it's so sad and tragic. It really is. You know, and that's the tragedy of being in a place like that. That you're surrounded by other people that are just going to end up going the same way. It's just, it's so sad. You know, a life wasted ultimately. You know, and again, it's not that we don't do works for salvation, of course, but, you know, you spend your entire life, you know, working and, you know, you get married and you have kids and you know, you live this life and you become grandparents and so on and so forth, only to die and you've achieved nothing in the sense of, you know, you're not saved. So everything you've done is just, you know, it's a waste of time, no matter how good or bad, you know, this is just a waste of time. Your life is just vapor. You're here today, gone tomorrow, right? It's just, that's the tragedy of it all. That's the real reason to grieve and to mourn at a place like this, you know, that, you know, this just waste of life, you know, when someone like that, before they died, could have gotten saved, could have come to the knowledge of the truth, you know, that joy in salvation of knowing and having that personal relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ is such a tragedy. It's such a waste. And, you know, to be brutally honest with you, I think deep down I was probably the only one who was grieving, but for a different reason there. You know, feel sorry for everybody else, the family. It's a very small affair, very informal. I probably overdressed for it with the tie and everything that I was wearing, but you know, it was very quick and very kind of just blasé, really. You know, it wasn't anything of substance to it, and that's the worst thing, you know. And so I've returned here because obviously I've got to prepare to leave. But you know, everybody's like having, you know, drinks and biscuits or whatever, tea and biscuits or something, and just kind of talking about her. But you know, it's just sad. It's so sad. It's really, really sad. I just, you know, I feel so sorry for Doreen actually. You know, especially. So, you know, but anyway, you know, there's nothing we can do now. You know, there's just nothing we can do about it. And, you know, I mean, I don't know her private, personal, spiritual life. I don't know. But again, you know, you can get these good indicators from people, you know, because she died of cancer, I believe. So she would have decided, you know, the nature of her funeral, I believe. She requested that. And also, you know, her husband and family know her beliefs. You know, if someone's a Christian, you know that they're a Christian. You'll say, well, she was a Christian. You know, that's just how it was. You know, but in this one, it just wasn't like that. You know, I think I heard a comment about her from her own kind of words. She says, like, you know, she respects, you know, other beliefs or whatever, or people with faith rather. you know, but it was kept out of her sort of life, so to speak. And I mean, you can just deduce from some of the things that are said that she just wasn't saved. You know, and of course, I hope I'm badly wrong. I hope that, you know, just prior to her dying, because you can get saved anytime, anywhere, without any kind of, you know, no matter what your situation, anytime, anywhere, you can get saved. And, you know, so again, I don't know what happened in those kind of dying seconds or minutes. You just don't know. But, you know, sadly, you know, it's pretty obvious, to be honest with you. So anyway, so just came back from there and, you know, paying my respects, so to speak. And, you know, there's no real harm in doing that. But really, inside, I'm grieving and I'm mourning because I just kind of know what's going on. And, you know, you're grieving and mourning for the people around you. It's just so tragic. But anyway, you know, so on a plus note, just packing up at the moment, getting things prepared to leave. So please, if you can, please do keep me in your prayers, just that I'm conveyed safely to the Philippines and then back. Although, you know, a prayer just to kind of stop the flight back so I can stay there a while longer would be awesome. But, you know, it's just how it is. But anyway, so, you know, I'm really grateful for, you know, for you watching this video. And, you know, I would love to hear your comments as well. I mean, you know, if you've experienced a humanist funeral, and I've been to a few now, but, you know, what your thoughts were on that, and it'd be interesting. So, anyway, so thank you for your time watching. God bless and take care. Thank you.